Welcome all. In today's lecture, we will discuss projection of planes. So first of all, about the plane. A plane surface is one which has two dimensions, such as length and breadth. Third dimensions, that is the thickness of the object, is considered to be zero or negligible. The surface of plane may be regular, such as triangle, square, rectangle, circle, pentagon, hexagon, etc. So we will discuss one by one in this lecture. So first of all, we will discuss position or orientation of planes with respect to principal planes. So orientation may be number one, plane parallel to one of principal plane and perpendicular to other. Second is plane inclined to one of the principal planes and perpendicular to other. Third one is plane perpendicular to both the principal planes, and fourth is plane inclined to both the principal plane. So very first is, that is, plane parallel to one of the principal plane and perpendicular to other. So we will discuss, very first is, in subcategories, plane parallel to horizontal plane and perpendicular to vertical plane. So as shown in this diagram, that is, here is vertical plane and horizontal plane. So object is square here. Capital letters are mentioned here, A, B, C, D. So when we view this object from the top side, we observe the true shape of the object in the horizontal plane. So we mentioned it as with small letters, that is A, B, C, D here. And when we view front side to get the front view of the object, so these 2 points will overlap, that is C and D. So we get the projection of these points as common as C dash and D dash. Similarly, B and A will overlap, we get the A dash and V dash in the common point. So when we join these two, we get the front view of the plane, so like a line. So same we can represent in the xy, in the two-dimensional diagram, that is xy is the axis, and this here is a top view of the object as small letters A, B, C, D, and here is the front view of the object as a line. So this is the case when plane parallel to the horizontal plane and perpendicular to vertical plane. And in the case of plane parallel to vertical plane and perpendicular to horizontal plane, so in this case I have taken a plane that is square as a PQRS. So this is perpendicular to the horizontal plane. So when we draw its front view, we get the projections like with small letters R dash, S dash, P dash and Q dash. So this is the front view of the plane. So in the top view, so this is just a line, straight line. So ends are S and R and P and Q. So these are small letters. Same we can represent on this XY. So here is axis XY, and in front view as represented here, so we are getting as S dash, P dash, Q dash and R dash. This is square, the true shape of the object, because plane is parallel to the vertical plane. In the top view we get a straight line, so mentioned as S and R sharing the same point, and P and Q. So when we join these two, so we get the top view of the plane. Second orientation is plane inclined to one of the principal planes and perpendicular to the other. So in this very first subsection is plane inclined to horizontal plane and perpendicular to vertical plane. So in this coordinate system, you can see vertical plane and horizontal plane here, and this plane, that is A, B, C, D, is inclined to HP and is perpendicular to BP. So in the front view, we will get the projection of plane as a straight line as mentioned here, because A and D will overlap, so we get the A dash and D dash. Similarly, B and C point will overlap, so we get the B dash and C dash projection over here. When we join these 2 points, we get the straight line. So this is the projection of the plane when the plane is inclined to HP and perpendicular to BP. same is represented over here is. So here we will complete this condition in two steps. In very first step, we will consider the object is in parallel to horizontal plane, and we draw the projections, and after this we will incline this projection because we have to keep this projection inclined to HP. So that's why we inclined over here is, and we draw the projection of the object with respect to the top view of this object. That is the previous one. So these projections, and with the help of its top view, front view, so we get the top view of the end condition. So in the case of plane inclined to vertical plane and perpendicular to horizontal plane, in this case you can see here is object ABCD which is inclined to vertical plane. So this is the inclination angle with the vertical plane. So we draw the top view of this object here, so we get the straight line. So same we are representing over here is, we have the front view of this object. So when first of all we consider this plane ABCD is parallel to vertical plane, and we draw the projections in this case. After this we incline this top view here to keep it inclined to vertical plane. So in this way we get the front view of the object when the line is inclined, this plane is inclined to vertical plane and perpendicular to the horizontal plane. Next case is when the plane is perpendicular to both horizontal plane and vertical plane. So we can see in this diagram, so here is the vertical plane, horizontal plane, and here is the profile plane. So you can see over here is, we consider the plane as ABCD which is perpendicular to vertical plane as well as to horizontal plane. We just draw its front view by view from this side. So A and D will overlap. Here is A dash and D dash. Similarly, point B and C will coincide. So we can say here is C dash and V dash. When we join these two points, projection of points, we get the projection of plane in the vertical plane. Now same is with the top view. When we view from top side, C and D point will coincide. So here is C comma D, and similarly B and A will coincide. So we have A comma B. So when we join these two projections, we get the top view. In next case, when we view this object from this side, that is to get that side view, so whole the object will appear as the same size as that of the object. So here projection have the same size, true shape of the object. So this is the representation in this coordinate system. So now we will draw on the XY plane. Here we have a XY reference, and here is a vertical plane. When we just open the profile plane here, so we just open this profile plane. So we have, this is the vertical plane, horizontal plane, and here is a profile plane. So in this plane we get the front view, top view in the horizontal plane, and side view in the profile plane. So we just represent here is, so here is the front view of the object, that is C dash and B dash, as we represented over here is C dash B dash and A dash D dash is the front view of the object, vertical line. So here is same case. Similarly with the top view, so C and D will coincide. Here is C and D, A and V will coincide here. So when we join these 2 points, we get the top view of the object, that is a straight line. So with the reference to this top view and front view, we draw the side view. We just draw a horizontal line through these 2 end points and we extend towards the rightward, and on other top view we just extend this line up to the reference or intersecting point, that is the z-axis, and after this with the help of compass we just rotate this distance. We just transfer this distance from here to this side. Similarly this distance we transfer to this side. So when we draw the projector through these 2 rotated distance, so we get the shape of the object, let's say true shape of the object as represented over here is. Next case is when the plane is inclined to both the principal planes. So in this case, we just draw the top view and front view of the object by keeping the object parallel to the horizontal plane. So in next step, we just incline the front view so that we can represent the inclination of the object with the horizontal plane as given in the question. So we draw the top view with the help of the front view and the top view in the stage 1. So from here we draw the projections, they intersect with each other with the respective points, we get the shape of the object. After this, we just inclined the edge of this object at given condition, or we can as given angle in the questions, and we draw the front view with the help of front view of the stage 2 from this side and the top view of the respective stage 3. So from this top view and front view we draw the last stage of the object, or we can say this is the solution of the object when the object is inclined to both HP as well as with the BP. This is all about the position or orientation of planes with respect to principal planes.